Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my two co-hosts, Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler and Kelly from NOFO Endless Summer, we hop on every Friday and chat about everything North Fork. And yes, I am wearing all white. I know it's the unofficial end of summer at Labor Day, but I feel like I'm going to be wearing my summer whites, winter whites, all of it, because I am not ready to let go of summer. The weather is starting to change here. It is looking and feeling a little fall-like, but it's still beautiful. And I, for one, am going to hang on to summer for as long as I can, because, fall is beautiful, but since we live in beach um, here, you know, I know some of you might disagree, and I know a lot of people will talk about pumpkin spice. I don't drink coffee, so there. I don't need pumpkin spice in my tea. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Good morning.
How
We're
are
good.
you?
Say hi, Tilly.
Hi, Tilly. It's always so fun to see her on, because I
Well,
know a
I
lot of.
had to have her on today because she helped me with my beach collection with the Relic sustainability baskets yesterday. So I
That's
wanted her
us.
to be a part of it.
I wonder if she's the youngest member of the cleanup club.
I think she probably is. She probably is.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
Hi,
Good
Kelly.
morning. How are you? Hi. I just dropped off Patrick at his second day of school, and there are those kids who just like cry and cling to their parents, and the teacher has to like rip them off, and it's so sad to
Been
watch.
Is
there, done
Patrick one of
that.
those? Is Patrick one of
Say
those
that
who's
again,
clean?
Tracy. No, thank God. Thank God. I would just be like
Oh my God.
bawling right
I
now if
remember
he
it's
was.
many years ago, but I remember I was bawling because he was bawling. But the teacher said to me, just leave him in here and
Yes.
you go cry outside. Like, don't cry in front.
No, it's worse if you like hang
Yes.
around. You have to just
Yes.
drop and go.
Yes.
Drop
Yes.
and go.
Good morning. I see Aiden in there. And right there
Oh,
you are.
there
Hello.
he is.
we
Can you
You're a
hear me
little
all right?
muffled.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a broken front camera here, so I've got my phone in reverse and I'm trying to watch on my
Got
computer
it.
simultaneously.
Oh my
the
God.
yes, that sounds like a lot of behind the scenes logistics going on. Can you That's okay.
Yeah, I'm very sorry
Can you
about this situation
mute
here.
your computer because there's an echo because both are on?
I am muted
No,
on my
it's good now.
computer. Is
It's
it
good
still
now.
echoing?
No, you're correct.
Well, let's hop right on. Welcome, Aiden.
Okay,
Aiden is
awesome.
from Relic Sustainability, and this past summer, obviously, I met you guys through Slow Food because we had an event and you were there. But this past summer, I've seen a whole bunch of beach cleanup baskets pop up, and I know you guys do a lot more than that. So I'll let you take it from here and tell us who you are and what your company does.
Sure. Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me on. I'm sorry that Jack isn't with us to tell the story, but and I appreciate you wearing that octopus sweatshirt. We started off a few years ago, my brother and I. We just printing shirts in our garage, kind of experimenting with some artwork I had been drawing, and he had the great idea to, for every shirt that we sell, plant oysters back into the bay through the Mauritius Bay project. So that sort of kicked it off for us. And since then, we've grown now to include Jack and Casey. And Jack had this great idea that he had seen online of people putting up these beach cleanup stations. And we decided to start in West Hampton, putting up one there. And since then, we now have almost 50 up on Long Island. So we're doing as much as we can to build and get these things out there. And that's kind of, in short, what we've been
Do
up
you
to.
have onesies with your artwork on it?
So we used to have onesies. Unfortunately, with our insurance now, we can't sell onesies. I wish we still could. So that's the one piece of clothing that
well, if there's any
we had to
in
sort
the
of.
storage area, we'll take one. So I don't know if you heard when you were jumping on that Tilly and I did a beach cleanup last night, and she's probably the youngest beach cleaner in the history of Relic. So. Yeah,
That's amazing. Which beach were you guys at?
And I was wearing her in the Bjorn, and let me tell
awesome.
you, I was so angry about every little piece of plastic that was on that, because every time I had to do a squat to lift to go to get it, and I had a 20-pound weight on my body, and it was like making me even more angry and more. I mean, it was such an amazing experience for me. Someone who is actually tuned into all of this. I would like to think I'm tuned into all of it, but actually doing the basket cleanup and seeing every little piece of plastic, and every time I had to bend down with that 20-pound weight, I was like, oh my God, I have to go back to my life and see what I'm using, because there were things on that beach that I know I use, and I was like, I need to change my habits. Like, just one cleanup made me think, what can I change in my life to make a better impact?
So, sorry.
So I just want to ask a few questions first. Wait, first, are you Aiden or Aiden? Because
Aiden.
Aiden. I thought so. I was like, okay, let me make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. So
no problem at all.
So Aiden, tell me a little bit more about, because I've seen on your Instagram, you guys are actually the ones who are planting the oysters and running the farm and doing the whole thing. So even besides the clothing portion of it, you guys are doing the whole oyster too.
Yeah, so that started off back in 2016. We were working with Merich's Bay Project and volunteering at their farm. And our relationship with them has grown now to the point where we're sort of managing our own floating upweller system. So every week we go down there, we clean the oysters. They start off in about June. We get the spat from Cornell Cooperative. And it's really cool because 600,000 oysters in the beginning of the season will fit inside a small igloo cooler. But now that's spread out across 3 different floating upweller systems. And each of the barrels, there's probably 12 barrels on each of these systems. They weigh like 75 pounds each. So it's a real backbreaker, but it's very satisfying work. It's really cool to get down and dirty. You can really understand the bay from a different perspective when you're doing that kind of work. And we love doing it. We love bringing people.
Yes, I actually this year signed up for the SPAC program, and I had to chuckle when you were talking about them fitting in a cooler, because I, as part of the program, you get 1,000 SPAC, and they fit in an inch of a shot glass, and I'm looking, how are these 1,000 going to be? I'm like, are you sure these are 1,000? And the director Kim kept saying to me, yeah, there's probably a couple extras in there, don't worry about it. And I was like, but now they're growing, and yes, and I know, I mean, we love oysters and we plan to harvest, and you get to keep some of them, but I do randomly chuck some in the ocean, or in the bay, I should say, because of what they actually do for our waters and the awareness that brings. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, they really, it's the story of oysters in the Northeast, and just how little their population is compared to what it was. It really feels like important work when you're doing it, and very satisfying.
It's actually therapeutic. Really, I find, it's something I signed up so my husband and I could do together. And as you're talking about your evolution of your business, I'm thinking the SPAT program is continually evolving for me too. First, it was like, oh, cool, we'll have something to do together. Then it was like, oh, we can eat these oysters. And now it's like, wait a minute, I need to put these back in the water because of what it can do. So as you were speaking, I was thinking, okay, so you started out, does someone in your organization have a design background? Because that's, I know Kelly's wearing the sweatshirt. I have a few of them.
I mean, beautiful stuff.
So tell me a little bit more first about the clothing, because that's where you really started.
Yeah, so I started doing just like, my mom always as a kid had me in like art camp and all kinds of stuff like that. And I always enjoyed painting and drawing and doing that kind of thing. And then when I got to high school, I sort of started to kind of compile my sketches, and I did a lot of work on like surfboards. That was a really cool medium at the time. Friends would kind of drop off their boards and I would just paint on them. And eventually people started telling me, I really want this on a shirt. I'd love to get this on a shirt. So kind of followed what people were saying, and it was really satisfying to see other people wearing that artwork. I think it's still super gratifying, and like I am very grateful for that, like to have that experience. And that kind of just since then, when I got to college, I started doing more digital work and sort of experimenting with Illustrator and the Adobe Suite products, and now I'm do a lot of web design work as well. And so I just love like visual creation. It's really a lot of fun, and t-shirts are such a cool medium because you can go from pencil and paper, and then you go to digital, and then you go through the silk screening process. And every time you do one of these, you're switching mediums. There's a style that kind of gets like added to the piece, and it's like a really fun.
So how did you zone into
really
the sea creatures? So. Because all of your clothing that I see through Relic is all sea creatures, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I think I owe it to my dad. He would take my brother and I fishing even if we didn't want to go back as kids. So we grew up running around the docks with nets and just exploring as much as we could. And I think I've always just been fascinated by the ocean, and I know my brother has. And I think it's something that a lot of people share in common, and it's very, it's an easy thing to kind of like align with because it's just so beautiful and impactful for, especially growing up on Long Island, like growing up close to the water, being lucky enough to have that experience. It really rubs off on you in a way that it just great design inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Aiden, I want to talk about, in addition to the really beautiful designs, the quality of all of the products that you make, between the t-shirts, this sweatshirt. I don't know if anybody has a Relic sweatshirt. It is like butter inside. Like, it is so cozy and such great quality. It washes so well. There's never any pills. Like, it's top notch. So tell us a little bit about, I know you use organic cotton and the whole thing. So tell us a little bit about that whole process.
Yeah. So I owe a lot of our garment selection to, we used to do a lot of trade shows, and we still do them, but just craft fairs and stuff like that. And at those trade shows, you meet so many people, and the first thing that usually happens is they'll walk up and touch the shirt, and you get immediate customer feedback on whether or not they like the texture of the garment, whether or not they like the fit. And so being able to kind of like iterate on which shirt that we were using many times over to kind of try to find the right ones that gave us the best feedback, I think helped us get to the point where I'm really confident in what we're offering as a product. I think we have a long way to go to keep continuing to get better. But I just trust in the process, and we, every day we kind of try to push the needle 1% forward and finding better quality garment and improving their screening process and all that. So, but yeah, I'm really happy with those fleece line crew necks. Those are really soft.
I so much that I asked for it for Mother's Day. This was my Mother's Day present. So
that's
are
awesome.
the shirts
Very
only
true.
available on your website? Are you selling in shops on the North Fork? Where can people find your work?
Yeah, so on our website, relic-design.com, that's sort of our main vehicle for selling our clothing. But we do pop-ups. I know we want to do one at Little Creek on the North Fork. We're sort of just kind of getting to the point where wholesale can become a question for us. It's as an apparel business, like it's really tough to break into offering wholesale profitably and really have confidence in what you're offering, because I feel like when you step into that domain, you're going toe to toe with really big businesses that have great products. And I just, when we get to that point, I want to go in there knowing that we have a same quality product to offer, if not better. So I kind of been waiting on jumping into wholesale until we're there.
I want to just toot Relic's horn for a second. They are one of the few brands that you see at almost every pop-up possible. Like Alive on 25, they're there. We did like an event at Twin Fork Beer Cove. They were there. They go to a lot of pop-ups. So if there is some kind of fair or event going on the North Fork, chances are you'll find them there. And they have a very beautiful pop-up
Yeah, and I don't know about
area,
wholesale.
so.
I don't know about wholesale, but like I
Thank
said, I know you were at the Slow Food Annual Meeting, and that's where I got some of the clothing for my son and my husband. But I also, for Christmas, got a T-shirt from Noah's, which you guys partnered with and created a T-shirt for Noah's restaurant. So I love the local collaborations. Yes, Tilly, we hear you.
Yeah, and
Tilly wants one. I'm telling you, she wants that one.
Well, at the annual meeting for Slow Food, you did have baby and children's clothing. I didn't particularly see a onesie, but I did see like
yeah,
smaller T-shirts. So maybe we'll get a large one, and it'll be a
We'll
beach cover
shrink
up
it
for her.
Tilly. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll
definitely.
throw it in the dryer.
Okay, so let's talk. So from designing these T-shirts and being focused on sea creatures, you then move to oysters and what they can do for our water, and then progress to beach cleanups. So can you talk a little bit more about your oyster program and your beach cleanup stations?
I guess the progression was we started with the mission of every shirt that we sell, we plant 5 oysters back into Mauritius Bay. The inspiration for that was just seeing the bay change colors. In a few-year time period, we saw the Mauritius Bay, where we grew up, start to turn more brown every year. That water gets in the heat of the summer, and
we're having a little connection issue here.
Oh no, can you hear me?
Yes, on and off. You go in and out, but we can hear you now.
Before, Aiden was frozen with this like big smile on his face for like 45 seconds.
At least there
Well,
was,
I know. I think what he was trying to say.
is it?
Oh.
Well, I like how a lot of his team is chiming in comments, so we can read there. Because
Yes, for sure.
yes,
I see Jack
yeah, go
on
team.
there. Alex is answering some questions. This could be like a digital a comment session.
Yes,
of
no, love. Are you?
I think he's back. He's a little clearer now.
I think you're muted. You might be muted.
Now I see him, but I don't hear him. We're gonna get the technical glitch. Anyway, my real question is, what's my next item gonna be? When are we releasing a new collection so that I can ask for that for the next upcoming holiday? Maybe before Mother's Day this time.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, okay, so to answer your question, we're a small team of 4 people, and it's really everything that we do is we're doing it in-house. So we're usually a little late. I think everybody tries to release, fall clothing at the end of summer, and we're still designing fall clothing in the beginning of fall. So we're trying to do a new product release that we're going to have in the next couple weeks. New sweatshirts for one. We've had the same sweatshirt styles for the last couple years, so we're going to keep some of them. We're going to rotate some new ones in. Also some new t-shirt styles as well. I got 3 or 4 new designs that I'm really excited to get out there, and I really do feel like we're getting better and better, and I'm really excited to release what's to come. I think I hope people are going to like it, so I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited, and I like that you rotate your designs, and it's kind of like limited edition. You may not get this one again, even though you love this octopus print. So I'm really excited for everything that you're going to release, and hopefully it'll be right in time for holiday, because holiday is right around the corner.
I feel like I need to rush and get my octopus print today before it goes out of circulation.
I have one.
Do you have
it's really cool.
How do they fit? How do they run? Fit true to size?
I like mine cozy, so I wear an XL.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say they run a little,
it's
not
big
very
and,
big, but they run a little loose, which is good. My husband loves it. My son loves it like that. So it's perfect. The other question I wanted to ask, what is your vision and future for the cleanup baskets? Because obviously now you've, gone from just you guys doing your part to creating an avenue for other people to participate and be able to do their part. So I've seen the beach baskets pop up at several beaches along the North Fork. And I didn't notice it before, but now I notice that you even have sponsorship, because yesterday I was at one of the local beaches at First and South, happened to sponsor that station. And I was like, oh, cool idea. So tell me a little bit about what's going on there.
Yeah, thank you. We've been calling this program the Coastal Collaborative, and it was really founded around the idea of trying to involve as many of the stakeholders in our beaches as part of the solution and trying to keep them clean. So we've sort of have these like 4 key players in the process. Community members being the ones who are going out and picking up the trash and helping to, keep the beaches clean. We work with the municipalities to remove the trash and, upkeep the trash management at the beaches. They permit us to do this. We maintenance and maintain all of these stations and build them. And then we get local businesses to basically subsidize the entire program. So through those sponsorships, we're able to run this thing across 50 different locations on Long Island. And I think it's powerful because we also involving these organizations as part of the solution where they would otherwise be like bystanders. So I think, getting them involved and allowing them to have a presence on the beach, like there's fostering a lot of these local connections that I think is really powerful. And over time, we're going to be able to leverage even more for the advantage of the beaches. So I'm really for us, the Relic has really been this positive feeling of giving back to a place that we grew up near. And I think the inspiration for the brand has really been to try to bring that to other places as well and instill that in other people. And the cleanup station program really feels like there's a possibility to do that, where you have businesses who are right down the road from these beaches able to kind of show that they are sponsoring and taking care of this beach in sort of like adopt a highway fashion. And so far, it's been a really positive thing. We're seeing a lot of businesses just like continually responsor them.
I can't tell you how proud I am of what you guys are doing. And just in this last minute, the way you articulated it and explained it, I think it is amazing. And I love how it's such a community input that everybody can get involved in different ways. So love it. I think one of the comments that somebody put out from your team is, if anyone is interested in sponsoring a station, reach out, email to them at general.relic@gmail.com.
That was going to be my question, so I'm glad they put that in there.
Thank you.
And
yeah,
it feels like Relic is growing very fast. Like you're just taking so many steps forward. Tell us what we can expect from you in like the year coming. What is on the horizon?
Yeah, well, definitely more clothes, new styles. I think I can't wait to be able to offer more products that even things like more sustainability driven products like reusable water bottles, stuff like that we can get into people's hands, day-to-day items that we can just source really good quality and even make ourselves. So I'm excited about that. With regard to the beach cleanup station program, I've been working on like some basket tracking technology so that we can kind of compile data of how much these things are being used. So on each sign right now, there's a QR code that you can scan to help maintain the station. And we're seeing about every single day that 5 people are scanning these signs on average across all of these stations on Long Island. So I have to think that most people interacting
I didn't even know you
scanning
scan it.
signs.
I've been there so many times, used the basket so many times. So maybe that needs a little more visibility. And the other, I think I messaged you guys once about this before. Couple of people that I walk with and I've cleaned up were looking for other tools to aid them with maybe gloves, maybe sanitizer. I don't know if that's something that you can add on to the stations as you grow.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we can add to the stations, and sort of, I had this vision a while ago and I'm still not really sure exactly what it means, but I feel like what we've been able to do is establish a small area of property that can kind of become almost like an eco hub for the beaches. Right now it's just a station with baskets, but if we do integrate some sensor technology and we do start to do that, there's a lot of different data points that we could possibly collect or even offer more resources to the community outside of just baskets, like gloves or other pickup, cleanup tools. So I think there's a lot of growth. I think the challenge is, how do you start to do this in locations that are further away from where you are located? But we're looking, actually, a great plug for this. We're looking to hire somebody who could maintain these cleanup stations. The challenges that we're facing right now is that we just are so limited on our time. There's only 4 of us, and we're working 9 to 5s and getting home and working till midnight every night, and really doing as much as we can. But
I don't know how you do it all already. Like, I literally watch Instagram, and you're like cleaning oysters and doing oyster things, and then you're building cleanup stations, and then you're putting out clothes, and then you're at pop-ups. Like, I don't know how you do it all, so.
It's really something we love doing. Like, we get off work sometimes and we just go right down to the Flupsy and just start pulling barrels out and cleaning oysters for 2 hours, then head home and start pulling clothing. But it's like, it's just a problem.
Tracy, before we hop into the wrap up, I have to give a shout out to the Greenport Gazette Beach Cleanup Program, which the 3 of us are a part of. I know we talked about this before. We have a NOFO live show team, and for the month of September, we will be visiting all the local beaches in our area and picking up trash. And thank you, Relic, for having baskets there that help make it easier. But one of the things they are doing is also collecting data from us, which will go to Surfrider East End, about where the trash is and where it comes from. So perhaps there's a collaboration there in the future for you guys with Greenport Gazette and and their annual cleanup challenge and things like that.
Definitely. I think that there's so many strong partnerships that we can make as we move forward. One that comes off the top of my head is also the Mammal Conservancy. They're doing amazing work, and they have some signage at the beaches. So I think that's a great partnership as well. It's getting to the point where at some point this is really becoming a full-time thing. So I haven't taken the plunge yet, but there's a lot of opportunity.
Almost there.
At the risk of showing my age and sounding like your mother, I am so inspired by the fact that the next generation cares about this and is doing something, because for a while there I was losing hope about the future of our planet. And you are an example of the fact that your generation and hopefully the ones after you are going to be the ones that save our planet. So thank you. And he's frozen.
He's so moved that he has nothing to
Well,
say.
I also wanted to add, if anybody is watching our show and is local and wants to help with the beach cleanup, DM us. We are always we definitely looking for more help.
Yes.
The more we pick up, the more plastic we get off the beaches, the better for all of us.
Yes. And so when Aiden comes back, we will kick off our questions.
Well, it's a shame that his wife, he's back, I think, or trying to be back.
I hear him, but he's still frozen.
What's interesting is every time he freezes, there's a smile on his face. Are you back? Yes, it looks like you're back. I can't tell.
I think you're back.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back. You're back.
You're kind of back. You're kind of back.
Okay. Thank you so much, by the way, for your words and for giving us the opportunity to speak about what we're doing. It feels really good to be able to talk with people who are so supportive, and like you were saying, with just trying to do things to help save the planet. I mean, we're doing as much as we can, but it's obviously not enough. It really it's going to take so much to first. So if anyone wants to get involved, reach out. I think there's more power in numbers, and that's what the community beach cleanup program is trying to do. So
I'm going to reach out about starting a kids program. I think I would be interested in helping back you up on that.
Yeah, that would be fun. My kids would love that. Why don't we do something like that? Like
I definitely will reach out about it, because my dad does children's waterfowl programs, so he's got a model that we could maybe use for the beach cleanup. So we'll chat. All right, I'm going to kick off
Tracy's ready. I mean, Tilly's ready to chat now.
Yeah, I mean, Tilly's ready to go for a 5-mile run. She's trying to get out of my hands. Right? Oh, she heard her name. She's like, all right. So Let's start with our questions. Aiden, if you were going to take us to lunch or dinner, where would you take us out on the North Fork?
Oh boy.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to
Great
pay.
question. Okay. I really like. I mean, I don't know how far. If you, I guess it's considered North Fork, but I really like Grana. I think that's
It is
a
most definitely
great
considered
pizza.
the North Fork since I live down the street from there, and I am a North Forker.
Wait, your team is.
I don't know
your
how
team,
far out you guys are, so.
Jack is chiming in.
Jack is going to. Jack is
somewhere
taking
else.
us to Little Creek.
going to
Alex
Little
is
Creek
taking
with
us
Jack.
to Jediah Hawkins. So there's a.
Oh,
there's a whole
also
team.
in our neighborhood.
Great. We're gonna have to go three different times with all the Relic team members.
All good choices. Now you're on the water a lot, or at least by the water with the docks. Do you guys catch sunrise or sunset? And on the North Fork, do you have any secret tips or locations that it would be a good place to catch either?
Oh man, that's a great question. You know, I have to be honest in that I've never caught a sunrise on the North Fork. Only sunsets. But I have to say, the beaches that you guys have out there are some of the most beautiful that I've seen on Long Island. I mean, it's truly incredible, the beauty of the North Fork, and it's just mixed between the kind of rural farm, vibe that it has with, you drive down to the end of the road and it opens up to these beautiful rocky coastlines.
It is true, though. Any
Gorgeous.
place on the Sound, you make a left and you catch it. I know your team is answering several different choices. Ian Pierre.
I love it how they all have different answers too. It's not like nobody is in agreement
Well,
here.
Ian
They all
Pierre
have
is
their
incredible.
Different restaurants, different sunset spots. So, Aiden, are you a brewery or a winery guy? And what's your go-to?
Honestly, I don't really drink. But our friends own Matabella, and always going over there is always fun and a beautiful spot. So I gotta give them a plug.
I mean,
Awesome.
sometimes I go to the winery just for the vibe.
Farm
I mean,
stand? Yeah.
Oh no,
Marty,
true, 100%.
Marty is sober. He doesn't drink, so he's always along for the ride. I think a lot of the wineries now are offering like kombucha, sail away coffee. So they've gotten keen to people not drinking and just wanting to hang out.
I have to read all these comments because it
kombucha.
is the coolest. Because now all the team, and I don't know if Aiden can see this, is saying that yes, they disagree on a lot of things, but they all agree that pollution sucks. And Jack is talking about sitting in on one of our meetings. I can't even imagine a round table with you guys.
Oh God.
This has been so incredibly fun.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I wish we could all be in a room together. That would really be fun.
Tracy, you're muted. Tracy, you're muted.
Where can we find you next?
Sorry. I said we'll have to make that happen. And
yeah, definitely. I'd love to link up. We're going to be out in Greenport at the Maritime Festival in a few
we'll
weeks.
have to come say hi. And just to wrap up our show, we've been talking about what an impact you've had on the North Fork community, but tell us what you love about the North Fork and why you chose to become a part of this community.
So just to give the quick story on the North Fork, Travis, who is the owner over at Little Creek Oysters, he reached out to us and said, I really want to see this happen in my community. Like, how can I make this happen with you guys? And he really kind of lined up everything for us. And we went to the town meeting. And I have to say, of all the municipalities we've worked with, Southold was incredibly supportive of the mission, and everybody, like the local demographic, is so environmentally minded. It's been just an absolute pleasure to work with the North Fork on getting beach cleanup stations. Right now we have 7, and I think we're going to put up 7 more because it seems to have been a real hit. But I don't know if we've gotten better community support from any of the other municipalities or demographics that we've worked with. So yay! I think the people are the best.
Well, that's a great answer.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
As
good
you're
to
talking, I'm
hear.
thinking we definitely need some version of a NoFo live show collaboration. I don't know if it's
Yes.
gonna, if it could be a T-shirt, if it's a beach cleanup, if it's something we need a meeting. If you think your meetings are crazy, you should see our three behind the scenes meetings. So having a meeting with the three of us and the four of you guys or as many team members you have, I look forward to
Yes.
continuing the conversation and seeing what we can do together.
Before we
Absolutely.
hop
It
off,
would be amazing to do a beach cleanup. And, all 7 of our stations in Southold got sponsored by really great businesses. And, to get them involved and invite them to come down, I think there's a lot of potential to have a really great, collaborative event.
Before we hop off, I just want to mention that Relic gives NOFO Endless Summer members, club members, a discount. But if you're on this live and you want the discount, I will offer it to you without being a club member. So just DM me or email me and you can use our Relic
Awesome.
discount.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you so much
Yeah.
for joining us. This was such a wonderful chat. There's a lot coming up this weekend, so I don't think we have time to go into that, but enjoy this weekend, ladies, and keep cleaning those beach stations, and we'll post pictures of our cleanup and how the month goes.
Say bye-bye, Tilly.
Thank
See
you, everyone.
Yeah.
See you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank